Lights, camera, action. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing from. I'm Laura Thompson with TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach, and you're tuned into the coffee break. You know, I was just sitting here minding my own business, and I glanced up and saw a lady that I haven't seen in years and years and years and years. And she still looks the same, absolutely stunning. She wasn't Coach Kenya when I knew her, but she became a coach over the years.
Yes, exactly.
So before we get started with the interview, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, you know, where you are now, located now, and all of that good stuff?
All that good stuff. So you may not know this, Laura, but my practice started in San Antonio back in 2009. Mm-hmm. I was always just trying to take care of my own personal health. Mm-hmm. And so I was, you know, in the gym and working out, and then you had these babies and things weren't quite like I wanted them to be. So I started looking at nutrition. Okay. So when I started looking at nutrition, I thought, wow, I have something here. There's more to just a workout. You got to look at nutrition too. And so as fate would have it, I started a pilot. You guys know I was an Air Force wife, but I started a pilot here in San Antonio with women, and everybody ended up achieving 110%. Because wow. If you marry the fitness with the nutrition, you're going to get results. But let me tell you how God works. So after 26 years of being here in San Antonio,
really?
26 years, my kids and my grandkids live here. I was whisked off to Chicago, my hometown. And I never forget when I pulled up on 87th and the Dan Ryan, I almost cried because the state of the way the people looked, and this happened to be a Black neighborhood, was terrible. It was not a good look. We did not look good, and wow. It hurt my heart. So I, brought my practice to Chicago, found out that people don't have a lot of money to spend on health. Nobody's put $2,000 aside for a health coach. So that is what made me write the book, What's Food Got to Do with It? A love letter.
That, yes.
Yeah, I wrote that. In fact, I think we hung out a little bit. I know Gloria from Global Fitness. She hung out with us. She allowed me to do a book signing there. And the reason I wrote the book, I never thought I would be an author. Mm-hmm. But the reason I wrote the book was because I wanted to impact more people. And people may not have $20,000, or not $22,000, excuse me. I'm thinking corporate. $2,000, but they might have $20 that they can spend to get this information. So who is Coach Kenya? I am now a certified holistic health and wellness coach. I'll tell you what that means in a little bit. I am the CWO, which is Chief Wellness Officer of Body Divine, which is started here in San Antonio. I'm the CWO of Corporate Wellness, which now I do work with corporations. It's a bigger ticket, and it's a way for me to not starve to death, but then come back into the community and do things with the community. Because, this is where I'm from. So I'm always going to want to take care of where I'm from. But I don't necessarily want to starve to death. So how can we put that together? And then I'm the author of What's Food Got to Do with It? And really, I am very, very happy that we did not let this opportunity pass us and that we get this really good health information out into the universe.
Wow. So that's phenomenal. And I wasn't aware that you started it here. I remember the book.
I started here.
I thought you had left and did the book from Chicago. I'm not sure.
I left here in the end of 12, November 13th, 2012, when I landed in Chicago and my heart was broken with the state of our health. And then the book was a 2015 release. Okay. Oh, and you guys, I have another book in me. I always tell everybody I'll do my next book from the island of Fiji. Or Fuji. Some people say Fiji, some say Fuji. That may not happen like that, but I do have a second edition of What's Food Got to Do with It coming maybe in 2026.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you talk about food and you talk about nutrition, and you talk about merging fitness and nutrition. Do you have some type of system that will help people to really, if they use it and commit to it, that it might help them?
So I'm still 100% when it comes to results. And even though I'm in corporations now doing holistic health, we got to ask ourselves, what exactly is holistic health? So holistic health is mental, it's emotional. What's your EQ? Your emotional quotient. How do you handle situations? Are you resilient? You're talking spiritual. What's your practice? Is it going to church or is it climbing mountains on a Sunday or Tuesday or Thursday to show your connection with the earth? It's social. How does your community look? What's happening? Are you stressed out? Are people rude? Are they driving too fast? All of this matters. And then, of course, it's the physical. Now, what we tend to talk about all the time is the physical. We talk about the nutrition, and we talk about the fitness. Remember, I told you that's how I started. I started as a gym rat. And then, I wasn't getting exactly the results I wanted, so we married that with nutrition. But bam, you go to a place like Chicago, and it doesn't matter what formula I give a person who is in mental chaos. Did y'all hear what I just said? It doesn't matter what formula I give a person who is in a mental state of mind. So I can tell you exactly what to eat. Excuse me. I can tell you exactly how to work out. These things are not a secret.
Right.
But how do we bring the mental and the emotional into it to create a holistic approach to health and wellness?
Wow. You know what I learned about stress? I was just thinking stress was external, like I've been sitting too long or I've been working too many hours. And then I started feeling it internally. I said, the stress is internal. It's physical and it's external and internal.
Excuse me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
How do you deal with people that have this internal stress? Because it sounds like close to emotional intelligence. I don't know. I'm not in the industry, but I'm just listening to you.
Y'all, I want you all to know something. Laura and I decided to do this really at the 11th hour. And I'm so glad that we did not miss this opportunity. That would be a question. That is the most brilliant question, maybe, of this interview. I know we got a lot of brilliance between us. Let's talk about what you just said. So important. So what is stress? Okay. Stress, it starts a response in the brain. I'm not going to get into the scientific part. We don't have time. But basically, everybody's heard of fight or flight response, right? So what does that mean? So let's say you're sitting in the park and a bear comes to attack you. Well, you can either fight the bear or you can run from the bear. That's what stress is. Fight or flight. It is biological, it is physiological. You can't get around it, right? Some stress is good, some is bad. Now, I'm going to say something very unorthodox to you guys. I'm going to tell you to fight the bear. Most people would say, no, run from the bear. Run from the bear. Get away. This is why I don't want you to run from the bear. This is very important.
Wow.
I want you to fight the bear because if you fight the bear, I don't know if I can cuss, so I'm not going to cuss. You're probably going to get your butt whooped and you'll end up in the hospital. Hopefully it won't be fatal, but you'll end up in the hospital. And then when you get out the hospital, you just won't fight any more bears. You'll just stay out the park, right? But if you flight, you technically can't flight because guess who the bear is? The bear is your boss at work. The bear are your bills. The bear is your ability to work and provide. The bear is your community. That's why it's so important that we build our strong communities. So the bear is everywhere. You can't get away from the bear. That's why I would rather see you fight the bear, get your butt kicked, and learn your lesson. Because if you take flight, the bear is always going to be all around you. So, to speak to what you just said, you felt it. You can feel stress. Have you ever been in a building and somebody walked up on you and you did that? Mm-hmm. That's stress. But guess what? That's a simple stress, because that stress is over with once you see that it's somebody you know and you're not in danger. Mm-hmm. But imagine the stress, the bear, everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. By the time you feel it, hey guys, listen to me. By the time you feel it, I'm afraid for you. Because that means that there are biological and physiological changes happening in your body. And what stress does is it leads to chronic illness. And although we are, talking stress and talking nutrition, I want to bring it back home to men for just a second, because June is Men's Mental Health Month. Mm-hmm. And men are masterful.
Wow.
At hiding their stress, because they're men and they're not supposed to be stressed. And you and I, we got to keep it real. We know what that looks like. Over the years, we're all old enough to know what it looks like when men are under deep stress. And it looks like the community breaks up. It looks like the family, I know I'm going on a tangent, but it's already. It looks like the family breaks up. It looks like the woman is under more stress because sometimes we don't have the support that we need. Obviously, the men are under more stress. It looks like lack of self-care. It looks like drinking too much. It looks like smoking too much. It looks like eating the wrong foods. That's what stress is. And after that happens, it doesn't have a choice but to turn into what we call chronic illness. And we got a little time on the clock, I can see it. And so I'd love to get into like what we can look at as far as food. There's so many different things. We said spiritual, we said social, we said mental, we said emotional quotient, we said physical. But what are some of the things that we can look at to combat stress? And then I really want to tell you guys, I'll be here working for the next couple of days. So I want to share with you a health pop-up that we have going on. So hopefully we won't run out of time. Okay. I knew it wasn't going to be enough time.
But that's okay. You have other times.
Yes, we'll have other times. We'll do this more often.
Okay. So you were going to talk about the men now, or what were you?
So everything that I just said doesn't just apply to men, it applies to everybody. But Laura, you and I, we want to give men like more than the big piece of chicken. Like, so we're dedicating this talk to our men, right? Mm-hmm. But really health and wellness and the way to apply it applies to everybody, but we want to dedicate this to the men. Men know that silence turns into stress. Mm-hmm. And stress turns into chronic illness. Men, because we talk about this a lot with women, have a practice. Maybe in the morning when you get up, drink water. Everybody should do this, but this is for the men. Drink 16, 18, 24 ounces of water. Stay where you are and do a couple push-ups and a couple sit-ups and a couple dips, just to get everything flowing. In the afternoon, get some sunshine, get some protein. I know this sounds corny for men. We tell women to do this all the time, don't we?
And I was just saying, men finally got a month. So
men finally got a month. I don't even know where they got this month. Men, it's okay to journal. Men, and it's not corny for a man to journal. This is not just, men have health too. And so guys, we want to give you more than the big piece of chicken. We want to give you the opportunity to take back your health. Take some time for yourself. Men need to do that too. Food-wise, I don't want to skip over this. Food-wise, there are three things that I really want men to really hone in on. One is omega-3 fatty acids. That comes from things like walnuts, sardines, and fish. You can look this stuff up. You can Google it. The other is a probiotic, gut health. So whatever's happening in the gut is happening in the brain. So if you got a friend that's acting crazy, they may not be acting.
Right.
Because if your gut is out of whack, that means your brain, your second gut is out of whack. So I want people to start looking into a probiotic and stop. It's not a magic pill. It's not a run at GNC. Back to it being a holistic approach. And then the third is we said probiotic, we said omega-3, magnesium. Most of us walking around today, unless we're eating a really strong diet of green leafy vegetables, different vegetables, not so much fruit. We'll talk about that another time. And just certain foods, dark chocolate and things like that I know y'all ain't eating. Black beans. I know you're not. Then you have a magnesium deficiency. But let me say this real quick. Don't run out to GNC and start taking a whole bunch of magnesium, because what I tend to see, especially in our community, is people start overdoing it. You tell them to do something, they overdo it. So
they can get the results fast.
And it doesn't work like that.
Right.
It creates an adverse effect. You take too much mag and it lowers everything else, makes the mag too high. Now you're in a different set of trouble. So be careful. It's important that you get with a professional. Oh, I said I was going to shout her out. Let me do this. I met her in the green room. Patricia Adams. I like to keep my promises. She's over in the medical center at Zeitgeist Medical, and they are a health and wellness company. So you guys may not always have access to me because I'm in Chicago most of the time, but maybe you can reach out to Patricia Adams at Zeitgeist in the medical center, because I think another thing that happens is you guys try to do everything on your own, and you're not a professional. Like I'm not gonna paint my house. I don't know what I'm doing. I could do it, but it's not gonna turn out as good. I didn't know Laura and I were gonna run into each other, and so you guys missed the health and wellness pop-up. It was so successful Memorial Day weekend. We had 4 different sessions. Each session was completely sold out. And so I think Laura and I will be working. We got everything we need to be successful and to bring health and wellness into our neighborhood in a very strong way. I'll do my part. She's got this beautiful studio here. So I think we can really come together and do some things. So look for maybe a fall or a winter pop-up. And guys, y'all are spoiled because it's not really winter in San Antonio. You come to Chicago with me and I'll teach you what winter really is. But look for the health and wellness pop-up. We'll get something together. We'll come back on the air if that's what you want to do, and we'll make San Antonio a little bit healthier.
Right, and we'll give you enough time so that you'll be able to participate
in the next
know about it in advance, so that you can take advantage of all this good knowledge that this young lady has.
Happy to share. I mean, at the end of the day, one of the questions is, why is this important? We're all connected to each other. And the easiest way to take care of others is to first take care of yourself. I mean, it's kind of real simple. It's a no-brainer. It's just that you guys haven't been given the right information. And I'm happy to share the right information.
Well, thank you. So if people want to learn more about Coach Kenya and what you do, where can they go and find you?
You know what? Text only, 210-269-4156. So I still have that San Antonio number, 210-269-4156. And my bot will send you all the websites. It'll send you a link to everything. It'll send you a QR code. So yeah, if you just text me at that number, we'll be happy to give you all the information.
Wow. She's phenomenal. And what's the name of your book again?
The book is What's Food Got to Do With It. We made our goal, so it's out of print. Okay. But look for, maybe in the next year, look for the second edition of What's Food Got to Do With It.
Okay. I like that topic, so I'm interested in
yes, ma'am.
You got seeing what the next one looks like and what information I can learn.
Yeah, it'll just be a better version of the first one. The first one we kind of threw together. This second one, we're going to throw together with, I mean, it's a good book, don't get me wrong, but we're going to throw it together with more intention. Because now that I really have dug in the bowels of health and wellness, especially being in Chicago, there's so much more to tell.
Wow. So stay tuned. We're going to keep you posted on all of the wonderful information that Coach Kenya has to share about health and wellness and mental health.
Yeah.
And the whole gambit. She said everything works together.
It's connected.
For the good. So
it's connected.
For those that believe.
Yeah, for those who believe, yeah.
So you've been tuned into The Coffee Break on TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach. And thank you so much for flying in from Chicago to come out and interview with us in person.
I love it. I'm so happy it happened.
Right.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Thank you.